Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. How is everyone doing today? How do you folks feel about the Dokkan Now that came out this morning? And my concise version should be up on YouTube. By the time this goes live, it should be up. I intend to release this right afterwards. Hopefully it goes smoothly. And in this video, I'm going to be going into the details for the new units, as well as the EZA that was announced in the Dokkan livestream. Now, with that, if you are new here, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. Thank you all so much for coming to watch the video. I appreciate each and every one of you, and yes, I do check up to months back of people who come to watch the videos, how many views they get. Thank you all so much, and of course, if you have anything you'd like to say, please in the comment section down below. So as you can see on the screen, we're getting a FRIEZA plus Vegeta from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie. And let's hop into the details. So it's Extreme Tech. Ooh, the card art for the LR. So we have movie bosses or movie heroes category. Key 3, 200% HP and 170% to attack and defense. Plus an additional 50% to stats for characters who also belong to the Transformation Boost, Gifted Warriors, or Inhuman Deeds category. That is going to be very big. So, going into the passive here, insane. Frieza straight away is pretty much insane. It is going to be a little difficult building a team because you'll see soon, with regards to the active skills, the conditions to doing the active skills. So, 250% attack and defense, 2 additional ki per ki sphere obtained, and 70% damage reduction straight away. Okay, then for 5 turns from the character's entry turn, guards all attacks. This is the preeminent slot 1 unit now for turn 1. And starting from the 6th turn from the character's entry turn, a 70% chance of guarding all attacks. When 4 or more extreme class allies are on the team, or when there is another movie heroes or movie bosses category ally attacking in the same turn, he launches an additional super attack. And then for every attack received within the same turn, 150% attack and a chance of performing a critical hit of 10% within the turn. Okay? Like I said, preeminent slot 1 unit. Whenever guard is activated, 20% defense up to 100%, and that's permanent. And when 3 or more superclass allies are on the team, starting from the 3rd turn from the character's entry turn, or starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle, so the quickest you can get it is 3 turns into the battle. That is if this unit is on the first rotation. Changes key spheres AGL and STR to Tech. And randomly changes physical or int key spheres to rainbow key spheres. And then meets up with Vegeta and can perform a reversible exchange. Insane. Now, the active skill, like we'll see here, and there is a ton of categories here, can be activated when there are 4 or more extreme class allies on the team once only, be it before or after reversible exchange. And the active skill effect is 24 ki, 400% defense, and makes all the enemy's attacks target this character. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 25 categories. 25 categories. Okay, and then we have the super attacks. So the 12 key greatly raises attack for 1 turn, which should be 50%, and causes colossal damage to the enemy and lowers attack and defense, which is usually a 20% lower. Okay, and then the 18 key is 70% attack for 1 turn, causes mega colossal damage to the enemy, and then greatly lowers attack and defense, which should be 50%, and then raises allies' attack by 50% for 1 turn, self-excluded. And then to meet up with Gogeta and perform reversible exchange when you have 3 or more superclass allies on the team, starting from the 3rd turn, from the character's entry turn, or from the 5th turn, from the start of battle, which we know already. Now we have Gogeta. Vegeta is movie bosses, or, well, we already have that. Sorry about that. The leader skill obviously doesn't change. We have, for the basic passive skill, can perform reversible exchange with Golden Frieza. So key plus 6 and 250% attack and defense. Receives an additional 1 key per key sphere obtained. Attacks are effective against all types, and a 50% chance of evading the enemy's attack. And for the first time only, with a key sphere obtained, fully recovers HP. So that's once only. And that will happen right away. When 3 or more superclass allies are on the team, or when there is another movie heroes or movie bosses category ally attacking in the same turn, 40% damage reduction. And then when attacking with 20 or more key, 200% more attack and defense, and 70% chance of performing a critical hit. I don't like this part here, but that may just be premature. When activating the active skill, or when attacking with 24 key, I wish that was 20 key, another 150% attack and a guaranteed crit. And then for every key sphere obtained, an additional 5% chance to dodge, and 10% attack, and all allies get 10% defense, self-excluded. So he's getting 10% per attack per key sphere obtained. Now you're getting an additional 1 key per key sphere. It's probably not going to be so difficult, because he's already got 6 key. So it shouldn't be so difficult to get to 24 key. Again, I don't like that it is specifically 24 key, because if you don't know, my pet peeve is the LR Turles, the STR LR Turles, who you want to get 24 key each time. Just on his team, he's just struggling for key. Of course, getting an additional key will probably mitigate that a significant amount, not gonna lie, but still, this team is gonna be very wonky. So, where were we? And then for every 5 key spheres obtained, launches an additional super attack. So this is the only part of the passive that has an additional super attack built in, but it's a guaranteed additional super attack. And you're getting 50% dodge straight off the bat. You want a minimum of 6 key spheres so that you can get to 24 key, unless they're tech key spheres, of course. And you would have an additional 30% chance to dodge, which is 80% chance to dodge. And of course, if you get 10, you've got 100% chance to dodge. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Okay, now we have can be activated when there are 3 or more superclass allies on the team, once only, be it before or after reversible exchange, and this is the active skill for Vegeta. So you need 4 extreme class allies for Frieza's active skill, and you need 3 for Gogeta's, so hopefully the friend can count towards it. Testing is probably going to happen shortly. Then, so what does the active skill do? It raises attack by 540% temporarily and causes ultimate damage to the enemy, and then 540% defense and changes all key spheres to tech key spheres for 1 turn. Which means 23 orbs, so an additional 230% attack. And 150% chance to dodge, 65% chance to dodge, something like that. No, that makes no sense, does it? No, 10 is 50, so yes, 20 is 100, plus the 50 in the regular passive, plus another 3. So no, it's 150% chance to dodge. Just 150% chance to dodge. Wow. Okay, and now for the 12 key super attack. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes colossal damage to the enemy on the 12 key. And then for the 18 key, massively raises attack and defense for 1 turn and creates mega colossal damage to the enemy. And then raises allies' defense by 50% for 1 turn, self-excluded. You know, I don't know what to feel about this unit. I don't know what to feel about this unit. Forgive me, but I think the Gogeta side is much more lackluster than it looks because of how many events now have disable evasion. Now, if it said it disregards that it can bypass a disable evasion skill, then sure, I would say this is the best unit whatsoever in the game. But at this point, I don't know how well this could work. I don't. FRIEZA's, on the other hand, FRIEZA's kit is absolutely insane. I mean, sure, the guard goes off after 5 turns, but still, it's crazy, absolutely crazy. This is a really, really good defensive unit. That extra defense at the bottom is going to be built up very quickly. I mean, granted, it's only 350% defense in total, but still has 70% damage reduction. I mean, it's gonna be really tough to take damage of this unit. Of course, we're getting a new red zone to test all that and all that stuff, but still. And then for Gogeta, I'm not sold on this dodging mechanic instead of 60% damage reduction. I just don't think it's worth it. I would say with every key sphere obtained, gain 2% damage reduction. I wouldn't put too much stock into this dodging mechanic here, because yes, granted, in many events you could, but some of these really difficult events, the reason why they're very difficult is because they have guaranteed crits and they disable evasion. Like, for crying out loud, this is not going to help anybody in those particular instances. I mean, of course, it's reversible exchange, so you could just stay on the Frieza side during those phases. Granted, I get it. I do. Okay, and then for the banner unit, we have a Int Vegeta from the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie event. Very interesting. So this one is movie heroes or gifted warriors, 130% to stats and 3 ki. Ki plus 3 and 150% attack and defense. 50% chance to dodge and changes physical ki spheres to rainbow. And when the character is the first attacker at the start of turn, randomly changes ki spheres of a certain type tech and physical excluded to rainbow ki spheres. That is huge. That's actually very huge. That's okay, a lot of units need rainbow ki spheres, so that's pretty big. And then when the character's in the second or third, it is the second or third attacker at the start of turn. 50% chance of randomly changing ki spheres of a certain type, tech, and physical excluded to rainbow ki spheres. So even in ki spheres could get changed to rainbow. In either of these instances. Okay. When attacking with 12 or more ki, another 100% attack and defense. And when attacking as the third attacker in a turn, an additional 200% attack and a guaranteed additional super attack. And when there is another movie heroes or movie bosses category ally attacking in the same turn. Sorry about that. 150% attack and defense and 30% damage reduction. Interesting. When all allies attacking in the same turn are movie heroes or movie bosses, category characters, self-excluded, 150% attack and defense, and another 30% chance to dodge. 80% chance to dodge on a movie heroes or movie bosses. Well, I'm guessing on this new Frieza Gogeta team because he doesn't have movie bosses on his category, so yeah, so he basically will need a full movie heroes or movie bosses or combined team. Okay, and then we have a stacking greatly raises defense and causes supreme damage to the enemy. Wow, wow, wow. If we look here, how much defense attack, he's 150% here, another 100% here, and then 150% plus another 100, so 300% if you're on this team at the bottom. Wow. So 450% defense plus greatly stacking defense for a banner unit is insane, but then again, the stats are not going to be that high to begin with. So yeah, he's going to be sitting at basically 10,000 defense. It's not going to be that much. But for a banner unit, it's insane. That's insane. Okay, and finally, we have the Golden Frieza EZA. So he goes from 150% and 4 ki to 170% to stats for the leader skill. Then the super attack, which used to be raises attack for 1 turn at 30%, plus colossal lowers attack and defense by 20%, is now greatly raises attack for 1 turn. And then the ultra super attack was just raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Now it's greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Okay, and now I apologize that I don't have a better or bigger screen for this. I apologize. Let me see if I can make that a little bigger. No, it's not getting bigger. It's not helping that. Okay. So we have first used to be damage reduction of 90%, in once only, and then loses 10% permanently with every turn passed, but no more than minus 60% when it activates the entrance animation, which is basically its basic effect, because it's going to activate that anyway. And then key plus 5 and 100% attack and defense. This changes to key plus 6 and 200% attack and defense. And then guaranteed guard the first turn. For one turn, 100% defense for 3 turns. So once only for 100% defense for 3 turns. Then once only chance of performing a critical hit and damage reduction rate of 90%. That's permanent. And then chance of performing a critical hit and damage reduction rate minus 10% for every 2 turns passed, but no more than minus 60%. So that means 12 turns from when this entry animation happens. Okay? And then when HP is 50% or more, it's up from 100% attack and defense to 200%, and still the same, launches an additional super attack once. Okay, and then so now it has, for every super attack performed, 1 key up to 3 and 30% defense up to 150%. And the passive was, after performing 5 super attacks in battle, 2 key and defense of 50%, and after receiving 5 attacks in battle, 2 key and 50%. And now we have, for every attack received, 1 key up to 3, and then 30% up to 150% attack. So the attack and defense got increased by 100% in total, and then the key went from 2 to 3, and this happens with each attack received. With each attack received, instead of 5 to activate. So this will be up to 150% within 5 of each. Okay, and this is entirely added here, starting from the 3rd turn from the start of battle. 300% attack once, and performs critical hit when HP is 50% or less. So that's okay. And then starting from the 5th turn from the start of battle, 100% attack and defense when attacking as the 2nd or 3rd attacker on a turn. And then starting from the 7th turn from the start of battle, 100% attack and defense when attacking as the 3rd attacker on a turn. So you're taking him from 1st, and then from the 5th to the 2nd or 3rd slot, and then from the 7th, you're just throwing him off the rotation. Okay, and that's going to be it for the video. Thank you all so much for coming to watch the video. I really appreciate it. Thank you all so much. If you are new here, if you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing. And if you have any of your thoughts that you would like to tell me, please let me know in the comment section down below. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day, and hopefully I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.